Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Talksy English, Listen and Speak. I'm Sarah, and as always, I'm joined by my friend David.
Hey everyone, ready to dive into another conversation? Though, Sarah, I looked at the topic for today and, are you sure we want to do this?
I knew you'd say that. Today, we're talking about politics, the P word that everyone is afraid of at dinner parties.
Exactly. It's like the fastest way to turn a nice lunch into a total shouting match.
A shouting match. That's a great phrase to start with. It means a loud, angry argument where people just yell at each other instead of listening.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd rather talk about, I don't know, the history of spoons. Anything but politics.
Oh, come on, David. It's not that bad. But you're right, it can be tricky. Tricky means something is difficult to handle or needs a lot of care.
It's definitely tricky. I remember last year at my cousin's wedding, oh man, my Uncle Bob started talking about taxes and, well, let's just say the cake wasn't the only thing that got cut.
Oh no, did he make a scene?
He didn't just make a scene, he became the main event. He was waving his fork around like a sword. I just sat there like, please, I just want my dessert.
To make a scene means to behave in a loud or angry way in public that attracts a lot of attention. We definitely want to avoid that.
But that's the thing, Sarah. For English learners, politics is even harder because the words are so specific and people get so emotional.
That's true, but we talk about it because it affects our lives, right? Where we live, how much we pay for things, it's everywhere.
I guess, but how do you talk about it without losing all your friends?
Well, that's what we're exploring today, how to tread lightly.
Tread lightly, like walking on eggshells?
Exactly. To tread lightly means to be very careful with what you say or do so you don't upset anyone.
Ugh, I think I need a suit of armor, not just light shoes.
No armor needed. Usually, when people start a political talk, they use certain icebreakers.
Oh, like, did you see the news last night? Or what do you think about the new law?
Right. An icebreaker is something you say to start a conversation and make people feel more relaxed.
Though, in politics, sometimes the icebreaker actually feels more like dropping a heavy rock on the ice.
It can, but it's all about the delivery. The delivery is the way you say something, not just the words you use.
So, if I say, the government is doing a terrible job with a smile, does that help?
Maybe not that much. That's a bit too blunt.
Blunt, like a knife that can't cut?
Sort of. In conversation, being blunt means saying exactly what you think without trying to be polite or kind. It can be a bit rude.
Ah, okay, so I should be more diplomatic.
Yes, being diplomatic means managing a conversation in a way that doesn't offend people. It's a superpower.
I think I'd rather have the superpower of flying. It's easier than being diplomatic with my Uncle Bob.
Well, for our listeners, it's good to know that you don't have to be an expert to talk about this. You just need the right phrases.
True, and maybe a quick escape plan. Oh, look at the time. I forgot I have to wash my cat.
David, you don't even have a cat.
They don't know that, Sarah. It's a white lie.
A white lie is a small, harmless lie you tell to avoid hurting someone's feelings or to get out of an awkward situation.
Exactly. Very useful in political discussions. But seriously, why is it so hard to stay neutral?
Neutral means not taking a side. It's hard because we all have opinions, right? We want to be heard.
Yeah, and we want to be right. That's the sticking point.
A sticking point is a part of a discussion where people cannot agree.
I have many sticking points, mostly involving why pizza should have pineapple. Wait, is that political?
In some circles, it definitely is. But let's stick to the big stuff for a minute.
Okay. So if someone asks me my opinion and I don't want to argue, what do I do?
You could say something like, I'm still forming an opinion on that.
Oh, I like that. It sounds smart. It means I'm still thinking about it and haven't decided yet.
Exactly. It gives you space to breathe. No shouting match required.
I'm going to practice that in the mirror. I am forming an opinion. I am forming an opinion.
You do that. And while you practice, let's look at some common words people use when they do want to talk about the news.
Like elections and candidates.
Yes, an election is when people vote to choose a leader, and the candidates are the people who want to be chosen.
It's like a job interview with millions of bosses.
That's a perfect way to put it. But, David, did you finish practicing in the mirror? Are you officially forming an opinion now?
Oh, absolutely. I looked very serious, very, intellectual. But seriously, Sarah, the news is just so fast these days. It's hard to keep up.
To keep up means to move at the same speed as something or to stay informed about the latest changes. It really is a 24-hour news cycle.
A news cycle? Is that like a bicycle for journalists?
Not quite. A news cycle is the period between the release of new information. Nowadays, it never stops. It's nonstop.
That's the problem. I feel like if I don't check my phone for an hour, I've missed 3 breaking news stories and a minor revolution.
Breaking news is information that is being reported at the very moment it happens. It's usually urgent.
But sometimes it feels like everything is breaking news, even when it's just a politician, I don't know, wearing a weird hat.
True. That's often called sensationalism. It's when the news makes stories seem more exciting or shocking than they really are to get more viewers.
Oh, like clickbait for TV. I hate that. It makes me feel like the sky is falling.
Exactly. And then you have bias. That's a big one for English learners to understand.
Bias. That's like when you prefer one side over another, right? Like how you are biased toward dark chocolate?
Hey, dark chocolate is objectively better. But yes, in politics, a biased news source only shows one point of view.
So if I only watch one channel, I might only be getting half the story.
Precisely. It's like looking at a painting through a tiny hole. You miss the big picture.
The big picture. I like that. It means the entire situation, including all the details and context.
Right. So when people talk about politics, they often say, well, if you look at the big picture.
If you look at the big picture, David, you'll see that my Uncle Bob is actually still wrong.
You and your Uncle Bob. But hey, speaking of points of view, have you heard the terms left wing and right wing?
I have, but it sounds like a bird. Is the government a bird?
In a way, these terms describe political ideologies. An ideology is a set of beliefs or ideas.
So, left wing usually means more liberal, right? Wanting change and social equality?
Yes, generally. And right wing usually means more conservative, preferring tradition and smaller government.
And what if I'm in the middle? Do I just sit on the bird's back?
Then you are moderate or centrist. You're in the center of the political spectrum.
A spectrum. That's a range of different positions between 2 points, right? Like a rainbow of opinions.
That's a beautiful way to put it, David. A rainbow of very loud, arguing opinions.
But Sarah, sometimes people use jargon. It makes me want to tune out.
Jargon is special words or expressions used by a particular group that are difficult for others to understand.
And to tune out means to stop listening or paying attention because you're bored or overwhelmed.
Exactly, like when politicians talk about fiscal policy or constituents.
Constituents. That sounds like a type of medicine. Take 2 constituents and call me in the morning.
No, a constituent is a person who lives in and votes in a specific area. The politician represents them.
Ah, okay. So I am a constituent. I have power. Sort of.
You do, especially when you cast your vote.
Cast your vote. That just means to officially vote, right? Why cast? Like a fishing line?
Actually, yes, or like casting a shadow. It's just a formal way to say you are participating in the election.
I like it. It sounds more dramatic. I shall cast my vote for the person who promises more public parks.
And fewer shouting matches?
Definitely fewer of those. But Sarah, what about propaganda? I see that word a lot in the news lately.
That's a heavy word. Propaganda is information, often false or exaggerated, used to promote a specific political cause or point of view.
It's like the evil twin of advertising.
That is actually a very accurate description. It's meant to manipulate how you feel rather than inform you.
That's why I try to take everything with a grain of salt.
Oh, good idiom. To take something with a grain of salt means to not completely believe what you are told, because it might not be accurate.
I take the news with a whole bucket of salt at this point.
Well, don't get too dehydrated. It's important to stay informed, even if it's a bit salty.
True, I just wish politicians would get to the point more often.
To get to the point means to stop talking about unimportant things and say the most important thing immediately.
Instead, they beat around the bush.
Yes, to beat around the bush is the opposite, to avoid talking about the main topic directly.
They are professionals at that. It's like an Olympic sport for them.
Sarah, we've covered the what and the how of the news, but what about the actual talking? The part where you're at a party and someone says, "So, what's your take on the new tax law?"
Oh no, the dreaded take. My take is usually, look, a bird. But seriously, a take is just an opinion or a specific way of looking at a situation, right?
Exactly. It's a very common, casual way to ask for an opinion. What's your take sounds much more natural than what is your formal position on this matter?
True, but if I don't have a take, I feel, I don't know, out of the loop.
To be out of the loop means to not have the information that a specific group of people has. It's like being outside a circle of friends who all know a secret.
I'm often out of the loop, usually on purpose. But sometimes you have to engage. You can't just hide in the kitchen with the snacks forever.
Although the snacks are very tempting. When you do engage, a good way to start is by playing devil's advocate.
Wait, why am I playing with the devil? That sounds dangerous.
Ah, ha, ha. No, no. To play devil's advocate means to argue against an idea, even if you actually agree with it, just to explore the topic more deeply or to test the strength of the argument.
Ah, so I can say something I don't even believe just to see what the other person thinks.
Yes, it's a great way to keep the conversation intellectual and less personal. You can say, just to play devil's advocate here, what if the opposite were true?
That's clever. It's like a shield. Don't get mad at me, I'm just the advocate.
Precisely. It keeps things from getting heated.
Heated, like a spicy pepper?
Sort of. A heated discussion is one where people become very angry or excited. The temperature of the room goes up.
I've been in those. Usually I just nod and smile.
To nod and smile is a classic strategy. It means you are pretending to agree or listen just to keep the peace, even if you've completely zoned out.
Oh, I'm a pro at zoning out. That's when you stop paying attention and start thinking about, I don't know, what you're gonna have for dinner.
We've all been there. But if you do want to express a different opinion politely, you can use the phrase, "I see where you're coming from, but..."
I see where you're coming from. That's a nice way of saying, I hear you, right?
Yes, it shows you are listening. It means I understand your logic or your point of view.
Even if I think your logic is, totally bonkers?
Especially then. Bonkers is a funny, informal word for crazy or silly.
Your idea is bonkers, Sarah. Wait, no, I should be diplomatic. I see where you're coming from, but that idea is a bit unconventional.
Much better. Unconventional means not based on what is usually done or believed. It sounds way more polite than bonkers.
I'm learning. But what if the other person is being a sore loser? Like if their candidate loses an election and they won't stop complaining?
A sore loser is someone who gets angry or upset when they lose a game or a contest. In politics, it happens a lot.
It's exhausting. Sometimes I just want to tell them to get over it.
To get over it means to stop worrying about something or to stop being upset about a past event.
But that's a bit blunt, isn't it?
Very blunt. Maybe don't say that to your Uncle Bob. Instead, you could try to change the subject.
Oh, like, speaking of the government, have you tried this amazing cheese?
A bit of a clumsy transition, but it works. A transition is a movement from one topic to another.
I'm the king of clumsy transitions. Politics is hard. Anyway, do you like squirrels?
Well, at least squirrels aren't controversial, usually.
You'd be surprised. In my neighborhood, the squirrel war of 2024 was a very divisive issue.
Divisive. That's a perfect word for this. It describes something that causes a lot of disagreement between people and separates them into groups.
Yeah, some people loved the squirrels, some people hated them. It was a mess.
Well, politics is often a mess, a situation that is full of problems or confusion, but talking about it doesn't have to be.
I guess if we stay calm and use these phrases, we can weather the storm.
To weather the storm means to successfully handle a difficult problem or a scary situation.
I'll remember that next time the P word comes up at dinner. I'll be ready with my I'm still forming an opinion and my clumsy transitions.
Well, David, we've made it to the final stretch. No shouting matches, no flying forks, and definitely no sore losers in this studio today.
I'm actually feeling, dare I say, empowered. That means feeling confident and in control of a situation. I think I can finally handle a political chat.
That's the spirit. To recap, which means to quickly review the main points, we've talked about how to tread lightly and use icebreakers to start a conversation.
And we learned about bias in the news and how to take things with a grain of salt so we don't get overwhelmed by sensationalism.
Exactly. Plus, my favorite part, the diplomatic ways to disagree, like saying, I see where you're coming from, instead of calling someone's idea bonkers.
Hey, I'm still going to use bonkers for the squirrel wars in my neighborhood. That's a special case.
Fair enough. The takeaway here, the most important information to remember, is that you don't need to know every single jargon word to participate.
Right. It's more about the vibe, isn't it? If you stay curious and respectful, people will usually be respectful back.
Most of the time, and if they aren't, you can always use your clumsy transition and talk about the cheese.
Speaking of the Prime Minister, have you tried this Gouda? It works every time, Sarah. Every time.
You're hopeless, but for our listeners, don't be afraid to practice these phrases. Maybe start with a low stakes topic.
Low stakes, like betting a nickel on a card game?
Exactly. A low stakes situation is one where there is very little risk. Talk about local news or a new park before diving into a big national debate.
Good advice. It builds your conversational muscle.
It really does. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. I hope everyone feels a bit more confident about the P word now.
I know I do. I might even call my Uncle Bob. Okay, maybe not yet. Let's not push our luck.
To push your luck means to take a big risk because you've been successful so far. Probably wise to wait on Uncle Bob, David.
Definitely. Well, thanks for guiding me through this, Sarah. It wasn't as scary as I thought.
Anytime. And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to Talksy English, Listen and Speak.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. It really helps us spread the word.
To spread the word means to tell a lot of people about something. We'd love to have more learners join our community.
And don't forget to practice. Try using one of today's phrases in a comment below. What's your take on today's episode?
We can't wait to hear from you. Keep listening, keep speaking, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everyone. Stay curious.